And good evening. It is evening, I think it is. There we go. Nearly 5 o'clock here at the Rivermead Leisure Centre in Reading, October 31st. We are just about getting ready for our 5 o'clock game against Loughborough again. I'll introduce my guest in a second, but I'm just going to say from the first, my name's Matt Johnson. Best wishes to Mark Howard as he recovers from some slight illness, and wish you and all the children the best. We welcome Loughborough here, and this game we're going to be supporting. You're going to hear a little bit more about it at half-time. So Thames Valley Air Ambulance do a fantastic job in the community, and we just want to really raise what they do and the stuff that they're doing, and we're going to donate some of the game prizes to them, and some of the other little money's being raised around the game at the same time. And so anyone from TV Air Ambulance, a big thank you for everything you do. And on that note, at 7 minutes, I'll welcome my co-commentator, Mr. Ben Fisher, the voice of Reading Rockets. They call Tim Della that for the football, but good late afternoon to you, Mr. Fisher. How are you?
Good afternoon. Yeah, absolutely thrilled to be back.
You got the call up again, didn't you?
Second appearance. So yeah, thanks very much indeed for having me back. Yep. Really looking forward to this game. Should be a really good matchup.
Yeah, absolutely. And the teams are out and about. They're just about to do the lineups on the court as well. So you'll be hearing that in the background. Good group of people coming in. 31st of October, busy day for people because they're thinking they've missed my birthday by 5 days. So that's why they're all coming in late. And we'll get the lineups to you as well. You'll see some very familiar faces. And we're at number for the Rockets. Number 4, we got Reece Pinnock. 5, Cartano. 6, Bassey. 7, Lewis Champion. 8, Dixon. 9, Tolawase. 10 is Ronnie. 11 is Isaac Round. 12 is KV Live. 13, Meshach Lufile. 14, Ash Kitchen, coming off some great under-18 games. And 15, Jazz Baines. And Rockets have got Coach Pearson and Coach Lloyd, as usual. And then we are also welcoming our guests to Loughborough. And they are number 4, Joe Belak. 5, Greg Wild. 6, Liam Johnson. 7, Conroy Hayden. 8, Chester Morrell. 9, Kanu Goodza. 10, Justin Headley. Had a great game here last time. 11, Dwayne Orija. 12, welcome back to Harrison Gamble, to one of the Rockets' finest. 13, David Aputa. 14, John Fakali. And 15, Clan Mooch. And their coach, we'll talk about that in a minute, by Coach Will Maynard from the Avenue of Charnwood. And Coach Fisher, as the teams have got 4 minutes to get warmed up. Change of coaching since you last sat here, and we had that Loughborough game. What do you make of that? And Coach Jerram left a lot of very gracious comments going about Coach Jerram. But what's your thoughts on that, and what do Loughborough do differently now?
Well, I think it's a really big hole to fill because I was just looking at some statistics on Coach Jam's journey with the Riders. 11 championships, 252 wins in 359 games, 3 Coach of the Year awards, and he's got 20 plus players on pro contracts moving through his program.
What a great stat.
He has done such a great job with the program. Him and Liam Jefferson. Such a shame to see him go. But I know Will Maynard's been with the Leicester, Loughborough, Charnwood program for a couple of years now. He's coaching the EABL team, so I think this will be a really good challenge for him.
Yeah, and really well put there. And I think I saw some really nice stuff by Loughborough on Coach Jerram with the pictures behind him, and for Coach Jefferson in that programme, as you said. And so just from last time, with a really interesting game here, Rockets looked to have it really put to bed. And in the fourth quarter, suddenly it was like they woke up Loughborough's sleeping giant, and they came back from, I think it was a 20-point deficit. What's your read on things like that, Coach?
Yeah, 35 points in the fourth quarter for Loughborough on this in the last outing in the Lynch Trophy. Wow. And I think they really just showed us what type of a team they are. They do play some really nice basketball. I don't think the results have gone their way so far this season, but I think they're a dangerous team. And if Coach Maynard can continue that through the course of the year, I think they could sneak into the playoffs, and they could be really one to avoid late on. They've got some good threats sort of all over the floor, really. I quite like the balance that they have. But in that fourth quarter, they just really stepped it up. Yeah, they knocked shots down. They defended better. They played really well in transition. And a big feature of their game is the pick and roll.
Yeah.
So that'll be something that Rockets have to really look out for this evening.
Yeah, and we've got the whiteboard in play. We've got the full stream team action here. We've got Satya on the cam. We've got Jade here. Unfortunately, no Todd Lindley today. He's recovering from a little bit of illness as well. So all the best to you, Todd, if you're dialed in from your with your hot water bottle, hopefully, and your cocoa. Do they still do that? Still cocoa?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
yeah, but all the best to all you guys there. Our stream team doing some fantastic stuff, and I'm sure there's going to be some weird and wonderful angles as well from Ralston. I'm going to just shout out to Coach. The starters for Rockets have gone with Pinnock, Cartano, Champion, Loughborough and Baines. Let that one have a little think for a minute as I give you the Belak, Goodser, Headley, Gamble and Dooku. So if we look at the riders first, what from that group that you saw last time, I think Dooku had a really good fourth and he seemed to start getting himself going. What sticks out for you there? Is there anything that comes to your mind of players that need to step up, or what's your thinking on this riders starting group?
It's an interesting one. I think Harrison Gamble, who obviously is a favourite of ours, I think he's quite key to this team. He needs to score. They run a lot of pick and pop action, and play their five just inside. So I think if we can contain that, it'll be interesting. If we can make him a driver, I think that will help us. But I think he's very effective from the perimeter. But it'll be interesting to see if he does go up against a couple of the other guys, how he gets on, really.
And I was going to say that you got a good look at the Loughborough team as they're prepping for the game as well, and the Rockets in their final preparations. Who are you looking for bigger performances? Pinnock, Cartano, Champion, Loughborough, Baines, Bassi, Dixon, Tolawase all coming off the bench, Round as well, Kavuvu. What's your thinking on this Rockets team to really make another step forward?
Interesting lineup that Coach Pearson's gone with. Looks like he'll start with Cartano at the 4. I know he's been interchanging him at the 3 spot, but I think the Rockets really should have an advantage inside. I think Coach Pearson will be really asking his players to get the ball in early on in the game, try to establish that. I think the battle of the glass will be quite important for the Rockets as well. But they've got, they find themselves scoring quite heavy in the first quarter. If they can keep that momentum going in different parts of the game, I think they can have success. I think that's something that Coach Pearson's been quite wary of recently. So it'd be interesting to see how they do. Jazz Baines wasn't shooting particularly well in the last game, so I know he's been working hard this week to make sure he can knock those shots down, because they're really important ones for the Rockets. Yeah, and I was reminded about Jazz had, as we are live on Basketball England YouTube, and there's 50-odd people already, even before the game starts. Well done to you guys. Dave Owen, Basketball. No better way to spend a Sunday evening than with the stream team. Thanks, Dave. Here's Harrison. Have a good game, Harrison. Not too good, though, if you wouldn't mind. Are you allowed to say that? I think you're allowed to say that, aren't we? You're allowed to say have a good game, but not too good. Well, he had a really good fourth quarter last time. He did.
And we're, I don't want to jump too quick away from the game, but the Thames Valley Air Ambulance, you're going to see a lot of that stuff in the background. And I've just got one stat for you, Ben, on how many times a week do we have the air ambulance called out. You've got 1 second to guess it.
Gosh, that's tough. I'll go 20.
No, 45. You're wrong.
Wow.
So you better get your stats better than that, Coach Fisher. But yeah, air ambulance is 45 times a week, guys. And we're 2 minutes of half-time. Have a watch of the video and the stuff they do as we watch Belak with the ball and Headley against Pinnock. Good hands, tipped away by Cartano. Justin Headley had an absolutely terrific game the last time he played. Took his time to get going, but he got going.
Very interesting to see them post Pinnock up early on in this game, so we'll have to watch that.
Yeah, I mean, Baines gets that one off the flare and puts his fingers up to his head as if to say, right, about time. I was going to say to you, Jazz Baines had 30, and there's that early screen. We remember that from the last game, Coach. I'll ask you about that one, that Loughborough transition screen.
Yeah, Gamble's just scored inside off pretty simple pick and roll, but Loughborough do work hard in transition, especially with the drag screen, and they found success early on.
Yeah, Goodzer on the matchup with Champion. Interesting matchups here. And we've got that ball screen now that they've switched, and inside goes. Yeah, I mean, really well punished, and a great pick up by Pinnock.
Yeah, that was very good. They negated the hard hedge really well, made them switch, and then managed to get it to go in.
Yeah. So Nduku, just as we see the end of that, Nduku, end line ball. So there's a foul in transition. Jazz Baines hits a three and then gets a judge with a foul. He's got Nduku, which is a tough matchup for him. And Cartano has the Belak matchup. And two quick fouls.
Lewis Champion called for that one.
Yep. And I'm going to shout out, referees are Betty Osgore, Derek Perkins and Edward Udiansky, who the last time I saw him referee in the flesh was at Valencia in a EuroLeague game. Terrific defence by Cartano, but Belak just goes all the way past him. Pick up by Goods on Champion, he gives it up. And Loughborough are certainly here to play. Pinnock kicks it out, Cartano, that looks short from here, and it is.
Yeah, tough one from Pinnock, just drew quite a few defenders. As Nduku gets it to roll.
Yeah, and we were talking in the week, just chatting to Mark about this online, and Mark and Josh are both here. Good to hear you joined us, 66 people. We were talking about the shot quality of both teams. Can they get the right shots? Cartano pitches it. There's one more in this one. Just out of bounds, 1 second to go. Well defended by Loughborough. They lead this by one after 2.5 minutes.
Yeah, that pick and roll, they defended better. They're still hard hedging, but I think the tag came a bit earlier, which allowed Gamble to get back and push Lou File out to the foul line.
Yeah, here's that high pick and roll into the handoff. And Nduku goes out to Pinnock. Gamble on Lou File, cutters. Gamble goes all the way and softy rolls it in.
Yeah, that's going to be one that Coach Pearson will have scouted, the double pick and roll followed by the flare screen.
Yeah. Timing there, Lou File gets a second touch. He's going to take that matchup on the one-on-one. Champion spots up. And long shot, so Rockets are 1 for 3. And that's 10-5.
Yeah, great feature of the Riders' play still. Transition, a big part of their game, and Headley's made the Rockets pay on that one.
Yeah. Lou File looks at that 16-footer and he really looks as though he's going to shoot that well, Ben.
Yeah, and that really opens up his game if he's able to hit those type of shots. That was a nice one from him.
Yeah, and Gamble literally hot-stepped around Lou File and then Cartano. Baines gets a step back. Oh, gets the little tweaker where it just jams itself on the backboard and the rim.
I actually really like that from Jazz Baines. I think his pull-up game is really good, and that was a great decision with the defence off him there. Yeah.
And there's Loughborough in that pick and pop, and they go under against Headley, and Nduku is wide open, misses it, but that's going to be a feature. And Pinnock goes out, just misses it off the rim with the lefty hand. And if you remember the last time we got into this, Belak looks down a three, just misses that one. Cartano's ahead. He likes the look of Harrison, goes at him. What a rebound by Pinnock! One of the best rebounding guards in the league, no question. I say that every game.
Absolutely, and great stuff. He'll have been annoyed that he missed the one in transition to follow up the next possession. Really good, and we got a 1-point game.
Yeah, and if you remember when we were here before, it felt like there was about 100 points scored. from both teams in each quarter. Great defense as well by Champion. Cartano's off and running. He's got the 2-on-1, goes into the body, gets his own. Loughborough gets his own rebound, kicks it out. Good reseal by Pinnock, who sees the mismatch. Champion likes that one. Yeah, finds the open shooter, and Champion gets his hands on another one and recycles it. Cartano for the 3. Guess what? Pinnock gets another one. Best rebounding guard in the league. I told you that just a second ago. And Baines does exactly that. Cartano gets a good look at that one. He's towed the line. It's a 2-point shot. Rockets take the lead by 1.
Great stuff there. But the Rockets really working hard to keep the ball alive, getting the tagging up, working hard to keep the ball in possession, and finally Jazz Baines knocking it down. Awesome stuff from the home team.
Yeah. Headley, that's the 3rd one that's just rimmed out by Loughborough, but yeah, Pinnock, that's a great look. Champion looks down the barrel of that one and it just comes out. Foul called by referee Adansky, adjudged to have had a bit too much of Nduku. In come 3 subs. In comes Baines, Dixon and Sam Tolawase. That Rockets 8 deep within 7 minutes.
Yeah, Rockets a slightly smaller lineup in this period of the game.
Yeah, Baines was wide open. I think that's the first shot he's ever turned down. Baines, AJ Bassi comes in. Cartano, another great effort on the board. Gets that little touchy one, doesn't get it. Cartano getting himself in the game, but the Rockets are in a mess in transition. And as we said, just walks past Cartano for another deuce. You can see the Rockets trying to pass in transition. Coach has clearly found something on that one.
Yeah, he's a big fan of playing in transition, especially with the ball screen, but he's got a slightly smaller unit in.
Yeah. Bassi has yet to get one of those as a foul call in about 5 games. I think the defense seems to do a good job on it. Good matchup there, Bassi on Greg Wild, Dixon. And they just leave Gamble alone, and we know what happens on that one. Tolawase and Bassi got themselves in a bit of a mess there, I think.
Yeah, that'll be a frustrating one. That's right off the scout with the pick and pop with Gamble involved there, going to his strengths.
Yeah. And Gamble's first foul. 90 of you joining us. There's a really good crowd have crept in here. And make a bit of noise as well. Rockets faithful now, and a cold is that Cartano goes up. Gamble just adjudged to not be vertical enough, if that is a sentence. Can't be vertical enough.
Always a tough one. I think interior fouls, no calls, always tough.
Yeah,
but Cartano will go to the line for a pair.
Yeah, and Cartano's already into his 5th or 6th shot. He's 1 for 5 so far. So I'm going to say, and it'll sound strange, good signs for Rockets if he can get himself going, and he gets the free throw, and the sub back in comes Pinnock.
Interesting lineup here for the Rockets now. Going with, looks like Sam T at the 5.
Yeah, both teams very small. Just got, that'll be, I think, and Sam is just overhelped. And who's coming up with that? Guess what? I bet Pinnock gets his hands on it. Told you. Yeah, and Bassi's off and running. Now, can this group now put pressure? They can. Ooh. That's the 2nd turnover in transition. Rockets really trying to push. They trail by 3, 2 minutes to go in the first, 17-14. Scoring slowed down for both teams, thank goodness.
Yeah, very fast-paced game as Pinnock's really putting under pressure here.
Yeah, and that's right in front of us, and you can hear me clapping as Pinnock just grabs his what looked like his hip flexor, grimaces.
Yeah, fantastic. He's one of the best on-ball defenders in the league as well. And he was really putting them under pressure. This is a very interesting moment here. And an 8-second violation has indeed been called.
Yeah.
So that's a big play for the Rockets and great defence by Pinnock.
Yeah, and that's always a tricky one because the clock said 16. So I'm not entirely sure. In fact, we'll just say the refs know more about the rules than I do. Wouldn't be the first time that's been an agreed comment.
Absolutely.
Number 22's in the game, Milo Gordon. Oh, Dixon steps through. And I think that must be about the 6 for 15 now. Oh, yeah, that's Rockets ball. Another deflection, another work by Pinnock.
Yeah, that's going to be key in this period of the game. Pinnock's really doing a great job on the ball. Gets it to go off his leg.
Great replay as well. They're frustrating as a player when someone reaches in like that and you smash it off your own leg.
Absolutely, but good to see Milo Gordon in for the Riders, a Canterbury Crusaders, Kent Crusaders product.
Yep. Oh, Dixon weaving his way through, and that very, very four-out group with 4 recognised shooters around Sam T, who's an absolute handful in any one-on-ones. So, and Pinnock is going to get another deflection, and look out, Sam T just destroys the defender, finds Dixon, who gets to the rim again and gets the roll to go in, and Rockets up by 1 and get the defensive ball, deflected out of bounds. Yep, referees confirm Rockets ball, and here's our new super duper Dixon cam. There it is. What a great shot that is. The stream team outdoing themselves with another aerial view. I have no idea where that camera is.
Yeah, really fantastic play by Dixon there, getting to the rim. Yeah. One of his strengths.
And Champion bangs the 3. Just reminds Greg Wild about the lefty. And there's that transition screen. And can they get it back? Greg Wild goes under. He wants it back. He answers straight back. Lefty to lefty, and gives the thumbs up to his coach, who says, hey, if they go under that screen, you're going to shoot it. Bassey finds Dixon. Pinnock having one heck of a half. Pinnock deserved that as well. The lefty up and under, and Wild is on the run with 6-5-4. Oh, defensive foul by Champion, and that will be his second foul. And here you go, here's that Pinnock finish. And if anyone deserves to get this lefty shot to drop, it's him for his effort. Look at that, great balance, goes in amongst the trees, goes off the glass. The very clean backboard glass, I hasten to say, Mr. Fisher.
Absolutely, really good take from Pinnock there. I think Coach Pearson will be slightly frustrated with the foul in transition. A tough one against Champion, I hasten to add, who's playing really well for the Rockets right now. Yeah. So that's going to be an important one.
No, I'm going to... Sorry, Karen.
No, I was going to say, let's see how that affects the second quarter, really.
Yep, 5 seconds to go. 1 point game, Rockets lead. Great pitch there by Dixon. Bassey finds Champion. He's got a high arcer. Oh, he goes glass! Lewis Champion, the lefty. 2 beautiful finishes by Lewis. And what a great pitch by Dixon to get that going as well. What a great pitch. And that gives Rockets a 4-point advantage in a 48-point combined quarter. And one heck of a finish there by Lewis Champion off that. And great find by AJ Bassey. I think just want to, we've said Pinnock's name a lot, and I think it's important, Coach, as you're looking at the timeouts of what's going on. And now you're looking at us, actually, which is probably not as attractive as it was looking at those two. But I'm just going to ask you about what's this stuff like? Pinnock's numbers say 4 points in 8 minutes. So any of the younger players, anyone watching, is probably going to say, well, he's only scored 4. So what are the things that you can draw our attention to for anyone that's watching Reece Pinnock in the next quarters?
I have to tell you, this is such an awesome question. It really is, because there's so much more to the game than scoring. As we're seeing some replays there from the first quarter. But what Pinnock does is he generates so much for others.
Yeah.
Just his defense obviously gets the offense going for the Rockets. They're able to play in transition. But I just really like the way he's able to break down defenders and find the open man. But also he's versatile enough to go downhill and take it to the rack to score. And Carl Jimenez has just checked in to say that Reece is killing it right now, and he certainly is. And you can see that he's just got a presence all the time. So despite only 4 points, he's got 4 rebounds as well. So he's really doing a lot of things, which is great to see.
Yeah, you just saw the Meshack Loughborough and going inside, and there's Pinnock getting himself going on the offensive glass. And there's a very wise coach said to me once, when you're frustrated on the floor, take it out on your own defense and rebounding. Take it out on things that really help us. So as we go into the second quarter, Evan Milligant is my favourite announcers and player. Meshack Cat Gang. So yeah, and right on cue, Evan. In comes back into the game is that different group now. Meshack at the 5, Sam T at the 4, Cartano at 3, Pete Reece Pinnock 2, and AJ Bassi at 1.
Yeah, so a more balanced lineup, you would say, for the Rockets, and it'll be interesting to see with Gamble out how that shapes up for them. Yeah.
Oh, Tolawase. I want to say like manning it to the basket, but that's not a very good statement. But just he will not be stopped when he gets half a step on that defender. Absolutely difficult to play, and great job, I think, from the Rockets to find Tolawase down out of that, because it was terrific Loughborough defence. As we watch Tolawase go to the line for 2. First one's good. We're going to have a couple of shout-outs to some of our amazing sponsors. I'm going to mention Julia Lindley, who's our food angel here at the Rockets. And Tolawase goes for 2. And we're going to mention for Heather Frost, when we're talking about food, the Rockets performance nutritionist, helps the academy and Div 1 teams with all good advice. Good offense by Loughborough. Oh, wow. Oh, it's coming out. Yeah. You know what I really like, Coach? I really like the fact that whenever Meshack is near the rim, he gets the ball. And I know that sounds small, but that's a foul. Oh, you're not supposed to say that when you're on comms.
No, and as you said
that could
earlier,
have been called as a foul.
I think the officials may know a little bit better, so we'll go with that. But just on that last play, the thing that Loughborough do is they keep the ball alive so well. Yep. So every dribble handoff, every pick and roll has a purpose, and that's why they're able to get to the rim a lot. Yeah.
That's a Milo Gordon with very active on the pick and roll defense. Meshack goes right at Gamble as he comes in. You know, I was going to say this before, and I think there's a side to Meshack that I think is so gentle and so humble that is just brilliant to have him around the club, the programme. Those of you that follow us on socials would have seen him and Sam T coming in for Black History Month and talking, and some of the statements and just the way that he handles himself as an athlete is, you can be very proud of that. And anyone that knows him will say the same thing. So I want to mention that before even talking about him as a player. And the second side of that as a player is, I think he's starting to see himself now as like the centre point of this flame of the Rockets team. So I think there's a lot more that we're going to see from this young man. And I think as the games get bigger and more important, you start to see Meshack appear even more, which is great for the Rockets. Bassi just gets run round. Oh, Tolawase nearly had it. Now, interesting matchup now. Harrison at the 4. Oh, Pinnock.
Yeah, tough one.
And here it is.
Tough one there for Pinnock, but I think he's just...
Yeah, look at that. Look at the rewind as well. Here you go.
Oh, fantastic.
Great spin, isn't it?
Great to see KV's checked into the game for the Rockets for the first time this evening.
Yep. Any of you older viewers, Ralph Bucci, the king of the spin. If you don't know Ralph Bucci, you need to Google B-U-C-C-I. Absolutely lit up a lot better teams than us. An interesting matchup, and and just like that, Meshack goes upstairs and really frustrates Bassey. Slides.
Coach Pearson, we were really happy with that defence, sending the guy on his weaker hand, and Loughborough always challenging at the rim. Is something that Coach Pearson preaches. So good job from the Rockets, because that's a tough coverage for Loughborough on the perimeter there.
Yep, inside knowledge there, right from the horse's mouth. Yep, KV in. KV's given some really good minutes recently. Under 18s had a good win. Not that KV's in them, but had a good win. Oh dear, left gamble. He's not going to miss that one.
Yeah, those are the ones that, those little lapses is what Coach Pearson's going to be talking to his team about, I'm sure, because that's bread and butter for Gamble, as Pinnock misses one at the rim.
Yeah. What a pass. What, I thought he was going to dunk that then. I thought whoever threw that one up, Pinnock, just throws that in the air, and right underneath is where Loughborough is. That's a great pass and a great catch, and I know this sounds a bit like we're talking a lot about Pinnock, but we are, and there's no excuse. Don't need another excuse for it. And again, gives Cartano the little lefty, and that's a timeout as Rockets go up 10 in what seemed like an absolute flurry. And I'm just going to catch up there with 116 people who are joining us there. Great crowd in here now. There's some real noise and some real ambition in here at the Rivermead with our new blue lines, which I know, which most people didn't recognise, Coach Fisher, match the backboard padding.
Well, absolutely, although the backboard padding has seen better days, I have to say. It's a slightly off blue,
you're not
but
supposed
anyway.
to pick that out.
Ah, sorry about that.
Yeah, but yeah, absolutely. And yeah, we're talking about Carl Jimenez is on here, isn't he? And as one of the premier guards in the league as well. Nottingham has now jumped over from Loughborough. And what's your thoughts on the guards in the league at the moment? It looks like a very guard-heavy league. There's some real good talent. Some real good talent there, and great to see a lot of British guards as well. We obviously have a flurry of imports, but any other guards that stick out other than Kyle the assist Jimenez?
I mean, yeah, the league this year, I think we talked about it last time, Matt. I think that the standard of player is really increased, and I think that there's now probably 7 or 8 really competitive teams.
Yeah.
You can probably go deeper than that.
Yeah.
I have to say, I mean, Cole Gentry at Solent, although he's an import player, is 5'11", I think he is, but my goodness me, what a player he is.
Yeah.
I think the backcourts at Nottingham, at Derby, Hemel, all really, really good. And I think that you're seeing quite a few high-scoring games because the game is a lot faster with those type of players in the game. So
okay. Well, if you're on the stream, there's 113 of you, and you're following from another team, or you just want to come and have a look at a really good game, then who are your people that you like watching in the NBL 1? Great league this year. We're back live. Belak's back in. Rockets gone a little zone here, Coach. Looked like a little zone there.
Yeah.
Haven't seen much of that from Coach Pearson. Will Maynard will be having a look at that one.
Absolutely, out the timeout. Nice little tactic.
Corner 3. Yeah, nice play by Loughborough. Inside, outside, bang, bang, and Dwayne O'Regan knocked it down.
That's certainly, if you're teaching how to play against zone, getting the ball to the high post and kicking it out to the corner for the 3, that's your bread and butter there. Yeah,
I mean, there is another offense which is called Get It to Harrison Gamble. Yeah, and on the flip side of that, you've got now, this is about the biggest group the Rockets can have, I think. Oh, Pinnock nearly got that one. Yeah. KV gets across him. And so my question here, Coach, is we're going to see 3 subs come in. When you're KV and Mishak at 5-4, Cartano at 3, and then we play a zone and you get no inside touch against that. With Bassey, we just get a 3 from Bassey. Do you think Coach Pearson wants to see some inside touch there beforehand, or you just think he likes any shot that you get that's open?
Oh, most definitely he will want to see the ball moved first and foremost. Yes, play in transition. Yes, attack the offensive glass. But he really wants to get the ball paint touches, and he's a big fan of making sure the ball changes sides to make the defence have to work and play. So he'll be frustrated with that one. Well, not too frustrated, I'd imagine, but he'll be looking at that and hoping that the next offence is a bit better for the Rockets.
Yeah, and we're seeing that zone as well. Good pass. And what a finish by Dixon.
And that really showed what the Rockets are about. Changing sides 3 times, cutters, Dixon at the rim, where he's been successful. Great stuff from the Rockets.
And I'm sure coach is going to say don't help, and Harrison just hops around Mishak and gives it the lefty. Harrison got all the tools, hasn't he?
Yeah, I think this is what he's really done well over the last couple of years to develop in his game, not just his perimeter shot, his one-on-one moves, especially from the perimeter, and his ability to score inside against bigger players, which is something that wasn't necessarily a prominent feature of his game, as Cartino gets one at the rim. Goodness.
Yeah. And remember, this Rockets team were up 10 not long ago. And Bilat's going to pump that one up. Yeah. Oh. And well saved by Rija and caught everyone napping. Baines pulls the 3. He saw, he actually saw Mishak underneath on that one as well, so he knows it's like a shot to nothing.
Yeah, that's one of the ones that Coach Pearson's good with, because it's a good transition look. He's got Mishak being the rim runner and then in position to rebound, and that worked perfectly for the home team. Yeah,
here's that pick and roll with Harrison. Headley just woefully past him. We've seen a few of those, haven't we?
Yeah, it's pretty good tactics by the Riders, getting Loughborough out from underneath the basket, making the help more difficult.
Yeah. Oh, Lewis Champion was more open than he thought he actually was, and just flipped it in with his left hand. Great awareness.
Absolutely. The Rockets are finding scoring pretty easy at this minute in time, so it'll be interesting to see how they now handle Gamble in the post.
Yeah, and Loughborough says you're not going that way again. There's a little bit of pride on that one, I think. And Loughborough gets a rest. Yep, Coach Billy Beddoe. I've forgotten how good this screen production is. Good game so far too. Glad you like it, Coach Beddoe. You've been having some wins in Milton Keynes as well. Congratulations to you on a terrific programme there. Being built from the ground up with lots of young players playing. I think you had about 250, 300 in those hubs that you got. Great stuff to see. And good defense by Rockets on that possession. Billy, I hope you like the new camera angles. And Dooku pulls up a mid-range, and good defense by the Rockets. They get the shot clock violation.
Yeah, that was better. They managed to negate that double screen on the ball.
Yeah, too much time on this by Nduku. Lewis Champion baits him into it, goes up and challenges it. Rockets building that lead again. Ooh, Baines nearly with a back door there. Dixon. And they're the sort of turnovers that we've just got away with. But Cartano with a head of steam. Yeah, he finds Baines. Oh, he didn't shoot it. Yeah, he's going to shoot that one, definitely. Looked a bit low. Oh, guess what? Cartano saved, but he gets it back. And Dooku. It was...
Yeah, it looked like he tipped it out of bounds, but it's gone the Riders' way. But
yeah,
really good ball movement there by the Rockets. Great offensive rebound again by Tyler Cartano.
Here it is.
Let's have a quick look.
And Dooku gets a lot of that one.
Yeah, no VAR here today, sadly, so we can't correct that one.
I'm sure there'll be one the other way. And Cartano is with his hands up saying, what? I didn't get anywhere near that. And big run out from Loughborough, and again, Headley has just done exactly what Headley does. He has his head down and he's gone at about 70 feet from the basket.
Yeah, he's so good going downhill, and that's a really big feature of his game, so a good take from him.
Yeah, Cartano working. Baines didn't get that under control, and he overcooks that one. Didn't look like he had good control of that one.
Yeah, it looks like Coach Pearson's going to call timeout. A little bit frustrated with the offence he's seeing. A little bit rushed. And no presence on the offensive glass, and indeed he has.
Yep. Timeout called, and quick look at the chat. 133 of you are joining us. Great numbers. Keep sending it out to your friends. Sambas L, or L Sambas from Canada. Go Mishak with a love heart. Absolutely. And Mishak has been going. He looks as though he's a little bit carrying something. I'm not sure that. I've got no insider knowledge on it. Just doesn't look too smooth in his movement.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's under the weather at the moment. He's not playing the Michael Jordan flu game, but I think he has. I think he has got a little bit of illness.
Yeah.
So
it's not often we quote Michael Jordan here, but we've done it. So, you know, we've gone there early. Second quarter, 3 minutes gone, and we're talking about the legend. Greatest player ever, other than Steph Curry.
Well, there's a whole can of worms you've just opened. I'm sure the stream's going to be going off on that one as to who the greatest player of all time is. But anyway,
greatest player I've ever had lunch with, Steph Curry. Again,
you had to get that in, didn't you?
Yeah.
That during your visit to Davidson, was it?
Well, might have been. I don't want to talk about it really.
Excellent. Well, let's concentrate on the game.
We've devoted the whole second half to that. And if you remember, not too long ago, Rockets were up by 10 and looked really in control, actually, and then let Harrison get away with one little open three on a mismatch, and then another layup and that really kept Loughborough in it. So 36 points for Loughborough, 43 for Rockets. Rockets are coming out there in man. Dixon has got Greg Wild, nearly gets it, and they just leave Harrison wide open. Cartano out of bounds fouled out of bounds. Belak went skying for that one. You'll just see him in the background. He's just falling off. He said, "No, coach, leave me in. I'm all right." Oh dear. And Chester Morrell. If this was another game, we'd have 137 on here because Chester Morrell would be on the stream.
Absolutely, I know he really enjoys checking in to the games online, which is awesome to see.
Yep. Another name for you, Ben. I think Ben Dixon looks a lot better after he's been out with a bit of illness. Looks fit and healthy.
Yeah, great to see him come back. He's made some tough shots at the rim. He looks a lot more comfortable as Tolawase gets to the rim.
And over the 6'10" Harrison Gamble, by the way. And there's that Gamble screen. And unless Tolawase gets this matchup right, they're gonna. Oh no! Harrison's gone down, holding his right ankle. Tolawase's going up north, and the referees will stop this one. Tolawase finishes. Harrison has just gone on his right ankle.
Yeah, looks in some discomfort. Really good read by him there as well. Instead of popping this time, he rolled on the switch, which gave him advantage, but it looks like he's gone over and looks like he's going to receive some physio attention. There's
Jasmine into the game, and one of the improved things about NBL 1 is the support that the players get on and off court from all the teams now, physios, psychologists, nutritionists. You know, and a big shout out to a lot of those people that are working really hard behind the scenes. As you see a shot of the crowd. Got some of the drummers there. My little boy Noah, my wife Steph. Always get a shot of them, otherwise they'll be in trouble. Well done, Ralston. So all good there. You see the players, Jazz and Sam T. And this is a feature, I think, that of I'm going to say the word accountability that I think teams are growing into, and really good to see the Rockets starting to get the measure of what they can do, and we're seeing now a much tighter team in terms of their offensive output. The early season, coach, we saw a lot of early shots and a lot of things that when things are going well it was good, but then we now needed to find a bit of a face to grind games out as well, and I'm just going to ask your opinion if that's something that you'd agree on as you see shots of Loughborough there, as they're slightly concerned about Harrison. But is that something that you've noticed?
Yeah, I think that the team is evolving pretty well. I think Coach Pearson will be looking at some of the defensive possessions. That could have been better, but I think when you play high tempo basketball you're going to have more possessions for both teams, So inevitably you may give up more points, but I like the fluidity of the offense. I like the inside-outside game, and I like just some of the wrinkles that Coach Pearson really sort of teaches his players to sort of maximise what he has on the floor at any given time.
Yeah.
So I think that's a really good feature for the team.
Yeah.
And I think that defensively, I think that's one area he would say that the group is still building. I think he'd like to put a few other bits and pieces in, but I think he's got his foundations in, and I think that's something that he'll be talking to his players about in terms of personnel and what the other team is trying to do. Yeah, really like what we're seeing so far,
good,
and hoping that will evolve.
Yep, and good news that you can see in the background now. Harrison is off, just under almost his own body weight, and great to see on the referees. That's a good relationship to see, players and referees. Don't often see things like that, do we, in this game? We see the other side of that, so well done, referee Adamski. I'm sure I maybe said that correctly. Just going to a couple of quick shout-outs. We've got Mark Hayward, our legend Hayward, who says, who's hiding in the wall on the behind the rim angle? Can't wait to get back with everyone. Yeah, we can't wait for you to be back joining the stream, Mark, and I can tell you that there isn't actually anyone up there. That is what I can see. That is a remote camera. How the things like this work, I just don't know. And then Joshua Thorne, shout out to Tyler Ford in the crowd. Yep, absolutely. Tyler, one of the young JMA students. I say young, he's probably mid-20s now. Yeah, and definitely a game he'd like to play because they're just pumping up a load of shots, you're right. And as Harrison goes out, just give you a couple of his stats. 16 points, 6 for 7 from the field, 4 for 4 from 2, 2 for 3 for 3, 2 for 2 free throws. And Harrison doesn't look as though we'll be back playing in this game.
Yeah, that's a real tough one for him and his team. Such a prominent feature for the Riders. So it'll be really interesting now to see how they respond.
Yeah. I mean, Harrison was on for about 50 if he kept going at that rate. And Chester Morrell.
Great to see Isaac Rounds into the game for the Rockets as well.
Yeah, chasing Chester Morrell off it. And just... And AJ Bassi has just been pinged for 2 in a row, where he just a little bit trying to get a little cheeky steal from behind. Oh, his second foul. I thought he was on 3.
Yeah, tough one for Bassi there, but looks like he'll stay in the game for now with 2 shots to come.
Our man, Chester YouTube comment Morrell, goes to the line and he gets the friendly Rivermead roll.
Another player in the league that's done a really good job. Really good to see him rise up through the junior ranks into senior NBL Division 1 basketball.
Yeah, and that is the advantage of having you here, Coach, where you've coached pretty much every age group and know all the EABL and ABL and under 18s, under 16s, 14s. So it must be good for you to have a good view of this at Division 1.
Yeah, it's great to see. Great to see people like Greg Wild on the floor as well. Similar journey for him.
And no contact there. Tyler will be frustrated with that. Yeah, and just as you said his name, he airballed it. Offensive foul. And I think if Rockets had that one back, they would probably not want those 2 possessions to end like they did.
Yeah, some very direct play there from the Rockets. I know Coach Pearson likes to move the ball early in transition, so hopefully they'll be able to adjust that. As Loughborough have the ball with 1 minute and 17 left in this first half. Yeah,
and I can tell you that is Rockets only their 4th turnover. And on the stats, Loughborough with only 1. And, oh, here we go. Tolowazi's out and running, and Chester Morrell could get back, but he just gets his hand on it, fouls him. The refs will confer, and he's going to say, was it in the act? Is it in the act? They discuss it together, and the call is no basket on the floor, not in the act of shooting, baseline ball. And here is a terrific angle just for you, Mark Hailwood. He says he's got it before he got up into the shot action. Great call. Good job by the officials.
Yeah, interesting. We're not sure why it's a sideline ball rather than an end line ball.
Yeah, it was under the basket.
Yeah.
But because there was a shot attempt, I think it goes sideline.
Okay.
I think that's what we're saying. Isaac Round goes in and continues his shoot the ball very early on for a three. Good for him. Good cover by Cartano in transition. But left open Liam Johnson, I think that is number 6. Oh no, Kate. Oh, I'm going to say Claudia Mucha. And Round gets it. Bassi desperately wants that one to go in, and he gets it. Looks up at the clock.
Yeah, big one for Bassi. Hadn't found too many so far.
Yeah, Rockets get a cheeky steal at the end. Tolawese, foul called. And Tolawese will get 2 for this set. Pushing foul. Right off the replay. Yep. And you'll see on the right there, David Beasley, an ex-young Rockets player. I think it might be his son's birthday today. How's that for knowledge?
That is very impressive. It'd be even more impressive if you knew everybody in the crowd when their birthday was.
That is something that I'm not sure I can do. Tolawese. Oh, nothing but nylon. Great question by Dave Owen here. Dave Owen, we should actually fire that question right back at you, the stats man of GB, Basketball England. Which under-19 players have caught your eye in Division 1 so far? Tolawese makes a pair and Rockets lead by 11. We'll give that some thought, Dave, and I'm going to ask you to throw some names into the chat and then let's see if other people can come up with something. What a move. And Chester Morrell gets it. And Rockets will end up great offense. I apologise if it's M-U-C-A, Mucha or Mucha. Terrific move, which is going to take us into half-time with a 93-point split. 52 for the Rockets, 41 for Riders, who have just lost, unfortunately for them, a hot shooting Harrison Gamble with an ankle roll. And you see, you've seen some terrific offense. We've seen some really interesting defense as well. What's the things that have caught your eye, Coach Fisher, in this first half? As we will start to go to some highlights, but what's the things that have resonated with you?
I think for both teams, some really good transition play. I like the balance between transition and kind of secondary offense.
Yeah.
I think the Rockets have probably had a slight advantage with their inside game. I think they've been better getting to the rim, getting the ball through Meshach and playing out from there. I really like the Riders and their pick and roll, pick and pop offense. I think that's going to change. I think we'll find they'll play a lot more 5 out in the second half. That's one of their strengths too.
Yeah.
But I just really like the sharing of the ball and the ball movement. I think that's been a really good feature for both teams.
Yeah.
The ball rarely sticks. And it causes a lot of problems for the defense, having to make long closeouts, missing coverages, and then obviously out of position for box outs as well. So I think there's a lot to come in this second half. It'd be really interesting to see how the Riders adjust, and I'd be fascinated to be a fly on the wall in Coach Pearson's halftime talk to see what he thinks. His team have scored 52, so it's quite high scoring, but they've also given up 41. So I think he'll be looking at that. And that can always be two things. It can be shot selection leading to transition for Loughborough, which is a big feature, as we've already mentioned. But it can also be rotations and stuff like that. And I think that he'll definitely be addressing that at the halftime break.
Yeah, great insights. Thanks, Coach. And there's some chat on there. We've got Terry Harvey basically saying, "Pull your socks up, Rockets." Billy Bellis and Claudia Muka's first game, Greek International. James Storer, how times have changed. Sam Darla at Billy Bello. Guys talking about Muka and saying, yeah, really nice pickup for them. And James Storer, remember when Manchester Magic used to dominate Division 1? Yeah, absolutely right, James. John Nicolau obviously knows Muka. He's a very good player. Expect lots of things from him. So it's a really good chat there. We're going to give you a couple of moments now, and I'm just going to give you 2 bits of statistics here. Well, actually, as we're raising money for this amazing Thames Valley Air Ambulance, £25 is going to get them a tourniquet, and I looked at that and I was really interested in it, thinking, and why is that so important? It stems the blood loss when they get to these emergencies. And then £2,500, great if we could raise something like that for an ultrasound machine, which I now understand when they get there helps them recognise internal bleeding and other stuff. So some brilliant stuff from Thames Valley Air Ambulance. Thank you for that. We'll talk about some other sponsors in the second half and some other partners. And we're going to give you 2 minutes now of Thames Valley Air Ambulance, as we'll be back in about 10 minutes. Okay, and welcome back to a warm and friendly Rivermead Leisure Centre in Reading, and we have a cracking game in Men's Division 1. We've got Rockets leading this one 52 against Loughborough Riders 41, 16 of which came from Harrison Gamble, and as you can see on the screen, we've got first quarter 26-22 in favour of Rockets, second quarter 26-19 in favour of Rockets, and we'll bring Coach Fisher in here. And Coach, differences for you in between first and second? Anything stood out real quick?
I think the Rockets played pretty well in transition in that in both quarters, but I think defensively they looked a lot better in the half court and were really challenging shots at the rim. Whereas I think the Riders were getting to the basket quite easy in that first quarter. So I think that was a big difference for the home team. Yeah, okay. And with 45 seconds to go, we're going to have a look at the whiteboard. I want you to just get that up. So give us a look at some of the Loughborough offence that's given them some of their early looks, could you? Yeah, they've been running kind of a double pick and roll. So generally, the left wing was Gamble's favourite spot. Yeah. So the guard's been coming off both of these here to create space, and then the flare screen has been set, so Gamble would generally be this second guy here, and the screen would be set for him to come over the top, and they'd make this pass to here, and he'd be getting quite a lot of success there. If you remember, he hit 1-3 there. Yeah, he also had he had a baseline drive there as well. But I think the key thing for Loughborough is they're always sending somebody to the rim, and as the ball's advancing up the floor, Gamble is regularly coming to set the screen in transition, the drag screen. And because Ryder's spacing's so good, he's able to turn the corner here, pop, and that's a prominent feature. Great stuff. Okay, I hope you, everyone on the stream, there's 117 of you, should have been taking notes right there. And we start off with Pinnock against Headley in that matchup, and Dooku will undoubtedly get a lot of those minutes. Oh, post up. Headley straight at Pinnock. We saw that one earlier. Interesting from Coach Will Maynard, straight out of the half, goes straight at Pinnock. Yeah, quite a very interesting one, and interesting how both at the start of the first quarter and the third quarter, that's what Loughborough have gone to. Yeah, I think as well, you're going to see Justin Headley, who's gone to 9 personal, and he was really good in the second half against Rockets with Gamble and Dooku. So expect some changes from Coach Maynard. Oh, Pinnock. Oh, and underneath goes, cleans it up, does Meshack Loughborough. Yeah, the Riders are going to have to find different ways to score in this second half, and that you also saw kind of a 1-2-2 zone press to delay the Rockets there. And Loughborough got all the way upstairs on that one, and what a great bit of offence. Deflected out bounds, Rockets ball. And yeah, I mean, great work behind the scenes while the stream team supporting the air ambulance. Yeah, thanks, Mark. Look at that foot. Oh, Loughborough goes, oh, what a play! Pinnock celebrates it with the pass. Loughborough looks it off like it was nothing, takes the contact, and here it is. That is one of the toughest finishes, to take the contact, rearrange, and to finish. That's a great job by Meshack. Yeah, I think I remember Josh Thorne doing that as an under-17 in the Chiltern League. Oh, no, I forget, he missed it. Might not have been as majestic. as Meshack Loughborough, as he goes to finish the and one. And Loughborough has very quietly moved himself on to 14 points personal. OME, one of the best streams in the nation. Thank you very much. We're very proud of that. The work, it all goes on behind the scenes of that. As Mark Howard says, the best, and he is absolutely biased. Good switches between Pinnock and Champion. Belak, he's just trying to get himself going. One of the hottest shooters in the country, and Pinnock, I think Mark Howard said Pinnock looks really well balanced now, and absolutely right.
Just throw it inside there. 8 seconds. Oh, spin by Loughborough. Out of bounds. I think Loughborough was just trying to give one more pass.
That move clearly excited you, Matt, because that
was
your
baseline spin.
Baseline spin from the post, trademark in your day. Done a lot slower, and that's definitely what confused the defence.
Yeah, I'll give Loughborough the permission to use that in this sports hall. Seems to make it look better than I ever did. And Conroy Hayden in. Little mid-ranger. Kanu Gudza.
Yeah, nice use of the pick and roll there, and just pulled up at the foul line for the jumper.
Yeah. 12-point game. This is interesting because we know Loughborough can come back from anywhere from 20. Cartano, great feed by Baines. I think Baines' danger as such a high-level shooter always gets defence on him. And just fumbled out about. Oh, great effort by Nduku to save that one. Headley going, and guess what? Loughborough says no to that one again, and that must be his, I would say it's his second or third block, and that is Loughborough going inside over the top. And I tell you, Coach Fisher, I think that is the evolution of Rhys Pinnock this year. Not only was he just balanced, he could have shot that one early, really got his balance on it, flipped it up to Loughborough, who just went to work in the paint there.
Yeah, really good from Rhys, and it's really benefiting him a lot.
Yeah.
With this kind of change of system, and also the fact that the Rockets are really going through the inside as we thought they might, because of that advantage.
Yeah.
That's incredible, isn't it, really? I mean, we've seen it in the NBA with Antetokounmpo, but you actually have 5 seconds to shoot a free throw, and Mishak got called for that.
Really?
I have not seen that in NBL for, ever, I don't think.
Wow, okay. And Mishak, like he does with absolutely everything, takes it. Great humility. Just gets on with it. Oh, Pinnock with his 956th steal. And yeah, look at that. Nice, nice. Oh, I think another foot further, and I think we'd have seen that one go up. Baines, Cartano with the counter drive. That's an offensive foul. No basket, good defense. Tough as well, because that had a real nice flavour to it, that offense. You could just see as Cartano beats Nduku. Great defense by Kanu Gudza. Great job, young man.
A couple of good defences by both teams. I think the Pinnock steal really came off that Jazz Baines blowing up the handoff.
Yeah.
And I have to say, Jazz Baines' defence this year has really stepped up, and I think that's really helping the Rockets.
Yeah, and Rockets stretch this to 15, and that could have been 17 there on a disallowed basket, that one. And here, Jason Headley, and I don't know Kudza, but if someone would like to tell us how old this young man is, he's doing very well. Goes at Cartano, goes underneath him, flicks it with the left hand.
Yep, the Riders running their double pick and roll there, and sending one guy diving to the rim this time.
Champion didn't really get his feet under that, but Champion likes to just get himself turned to his left shoulder, didn't quite get that. Good shot of Mishak. As Mark Hayward says, absurd how good Mishak is while under the weather. Oh, here we go. Julie Grant, Sam Grant's mum. Might as well be Ben Fisher's mum. Love hearing Mr. Fisher on the comms. Yep, everyone does. Mishak with a long two, looks off to the right. And Cartano and Nduku. Offensive foul by Nduku. And terrific effort by Cartano, who takes the ball off the coach. And the coach says, go away. Technical foul on number 5, Cartano. And I think that is a really nice effort from the referees to dissolve a situation where players are approaching coaches. We don't like to see that. You can see a good look. Good shot of the crowd you saw there, where there's a lot of people saying, what happened there exactly? How did he end up with that? Well, there was an offensive foul against Nduku, and Cartano, ever the competitor, gets his second personal foul.
Yeah, that call is quite, I think, in the European game, very quick to extinguish anything between players and coaches, for sure.
Yeah. Cartano now wants it in the post against Headley. 4 seconds to go. Baines somehow, 2-1, gets it up. Blocking foul. I think most things Pinnock doing today, he'll be incredibly proud of the game he's put together. Just the timing, the passing, the decision-making, putting himself together. A terrific game right now, and fully deserving every minute that he's getting. And he deserves these free throws as Lewis, Champion and Cartano comes out. And into the game. And this is an interesting lineup now. This is one that I like. This is with Tolawase 4, Mishak at 5. And the 3 guards, and Dixon will come in. I think he'll come in probably for Pinnock.
Yeah, it looks that way. Pinnock's really good minutes under his belt in this second half.
Yep, as he of course misses that one just to shut us up. And that's actually very clever as a player, because then you play another possession. Look at the defense, terrific. Justin Headley just spoke to the ref in the middle of the play. Oh, Mishak's looking for this one, isn't he? Yeah, Mishak was going hunting for that one, and just enough to put Nduku off.
Absolutely, and there he was at the rim again, affecting the play, and that's what Mishak does really well for the Rockets at the defensive end.
And Mishak wants this against Justin Headley, doesn't he? Oh, offensive foul.
Yeah, that's a pretty tough call. Mishak using the spin. It's really hard when you've got a smaller player defending the interior. There's always going to be an advantage to the big guy, but yeah.
I can't stand those calls, Ben, I'm going to tell you now, and I don't care if I'm a commentator. I don't like those ones. I think you've got to really shove your elbow into that one. I think that'll be the next one that with all the officials and the coaches together having a conversation about that one. Wide open shot, just looked wide. Oh, terrific rebound. David Aputa came in and took that one off and demanding the ball back against Mishak. Greg Wild, Tolawase, and foul called. Pushing off in the offensive rebound, no basket. On the arm, 2 shots. Not sure how that is 2 shots if he was in the air. And there's the great pass by Greg Wild. And in comes Nduku. And Dixon fouls him. And that's because we're in team fouls. 14 points difference. Nduku had a really solid game here at the Mead as he knocks the first one in.
Yeah, he's kind of having to take the load now with Gamble still sitting on the sideline. Spoke to him at half-time, Matt.
Yeah.
Not too serious, but he's going to be out for the game, so pretty grateful for that. As he's a great player in our league, and we want the best players playing as much as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think he's laced his boots up. I don't think we'll see him come back in, but might be a bit early in the season to risk that. I think AJ Bassi will be... Offensive foul there, and Nduku stepped right in and underneath it. Good scouting there by Loughborough.
Good, isn't it, Matt, that Rockets are going through the inside because they feel there's an advantage there, but Loughborough have responded really well. That's 2 offensive fouls, albeit a difficult one for you, the first one, but a good charge taken there from the Riders, so they're responding well, and that's what we really like about this game.
Yeah.
Two very positive coaches playing the game of chess, as it were, really trying to suss each other out and find the little wrinkles.
Yep. And I'm going to just a quick couple of shout outs to a couple of old school friends, Donato and Massimo, from Mass Media, Outdoor Advertising, and Project Audio Visual. They run 2 brilliant companies, and Rockets games are featuring on some huge video boards in Reading Town Centre at the Broad Street Mall. So look out for those. Thank you to those guys from Mass Media, Outdoor Advertising, and to Project Audio Visual. And they're on all our social media as well, as this game's got a lot closer, and Loughborough again have got their tails up. Wild as... Yeah, and Rockets didn't rebound there. They just thought someone else was going to get it. This back to 10.
Yeah, the Riders really chipping away at the Rockets right now. Loughborough off the floor.
Yeah, no, under 10 seconds. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Baines lets it go. It's short. And Loughborough have a chance to get this into single figures, and Dooku asking for it. No one caught up, and an open 3. Timeout. Here come Loughborough. They bring it back to 7.
Yeah, some good momentum for the Riders there. They've got a couple of stops. They've knocked some shots down, attacking the offensive glass, and that's brought them within single digits.
Yeah, well played as well. And I think there's Rockets' offense just went stagnant, then, didn't it? It just stopped playing. Noticeable when Loughborough came out, when Lewis Champion came out, when Pinnock came out, that Rockets would just need a little bit of time to get into something quicker, so they don't feel as though they're waiting for offense. And I was thinking before the game, teams when they're in their flow, the ball does move well, and you alluded to that earlier. And I think that's what you just saw, that stopping on the one end for the Rockets team, and you saw it increasing from Loughborough. So it's always a good sign that you're in the flow of your offense when you move quickly and efficiently and together, and at the end of it you get good shots. So something to look out for there, as we've got that, we're looking from this new camera angle right down the barrel of that 3 there, where KV gets her a bit late. Good, great learning from KV in all these as we see Rockets coming back out. And I would say this group now with Cartano's only Loughborough on double figures, 17 in 17 minutes. At the moment, not a lot of scoring with this group on the floor. Tolawase with 8, Cartano with 9, and a lot of contact. And Bassi says, and he quite rightly just said to the official, look, you're going to allow that? And 9 seconds left on the shot clock. 141 of you. 8. Tolawase goes in, gets blocked from behind, and that running off to the coach is never really liked. Blocking foul.
A tough play from Tolawase there.
Yeah. Needed that?
Needed to make something happen for the Rockets. Two shots the outcome, so that will please the home team.
Yeah, and Tolawase is a good free throw shooter mainly. Two for 2 so far, and that makes it 3 for 3. No, sorry, that makes it 5 for 5 for him so far from the line of his 8 points. Good lessons for you youngsters. Get yourself to the free throw line. Keep your scoring going. And KV comes up with it, does he? No.
Commentator's curse on
yeah,
that one. Misses the second.
KV Live rips it away from Nduku, and in comes Headley. Out goes Goodzer.
Yeah, a little bit of pressure here from the Riders, and an offensive foul's been called. Ben Dixon charged with that one, just trying to get free there,
yeah.
And referees judged that to have been illegal.
Yep. 153 of you joining us as Rockets have had a 15-point lead. Now it's down to 8. Another foul. And I think...
Yeah, 2 shots there.
Yeah. Both teams in the penalty with 3 minutes to go.
A huge credit to the riders. They've kept this one interesting for sure. As we can see, Gamble is working on that ankle behind the bench. Be interesting to see if he does return to the action.
Yeah, and I would say at the moment, why would you need to? Because you were down 15, you're back to within 6 or 7. And thank you, 1320 Mini says Kanu Goodser will be 19 in December. Doing very well, young 18-year-old. And KV, the judge should have just thrown that out of bounds, and this is where both teams have got to be very heady with how they play. Nothing easy. And Cartano absolutely just got left in his shoes on that one. And 4-point game.
Yeah, the riders continuing to move the ball really well, giving the Rockets some problems to solve.
Bassi, yay, there we go. He desperately wanted that one to go. Gives himself onto points 4, 5 and 6 for him. And Headley just goes, and that will be something that I think Coach Pearson will be really frustrated at. Dixon lines one up. It's his first shot of the game from 3.
Yeah, transition defense for the Rockets, pretty important. They're getting a little bit exposed at the moment as Wild fires the 3 and connects.
Yeah, but you can see the difference. Dixon is shooting a transition 3. That's not really one he shoots too many of. And at the other end, you got this is what we see Loughborough doing, and Rockets all at sea. No one on the matchup with the best shooter in the game right now, Greg Wild, as he gets himself going. And he goes on to 11 personal on that one.
Yeah, interesting with Loughborough out the game. Rockets seem to have become a little bit stagnant at the moment, which has led to the scoring drying up a little bit and then finding some difficulties in transitions. I'm sure Coach Pearson will be talking that over and get his troops firing at both ends. But credit to the riders, as I said before, I was just talking previously, they really are moving the ball well and just playing very unselfishly. Like I feel like Nduku has taken the load on his back, but he's also finding the open man, and that's what's led to a 4-point ball game. Yeah, and
Nduku's got 8 points in 19 minutes. Really efficient though, 4 for 5 from the free throw line. Got himself 6 rebounds, 2 assists, a couple of turnovers, but yeah, definitely giving himself some positive index of 11. So. And I was wondering when we were going to see Mishak come back in, and he comes straight back in. As he has 2 personal fouls with 2 minutes to go. And Champion back in, and Bassi and Baines back in. So Bassi's gone out and Dixon gone out.
Yeah, Reece Pinnock into the game as well for the Rockets.
Yeah, this group had a really good feel about it earlier, didn't they? And can they find... Lewis checks his feet. Big rebound from Dwayne Arija. Three seconds called. Rarely called, that one.
Yeah, interesting call there.
Yep. I'm not going to do what all commentators do and explain it to you, as we see a quick shot of the Rockets drummers. They're getting going as Muka picks Champion's pocket and goes straight through his chest. Champion takes an offensive foul right on his numbers and gets back the possession as the players slap fives.
But what a fine example there for our younger viewers of losing the ball and then immediately getting back on defence and taking the charge. I mean, that's the best thing you can do.
Yeah, and here's Baines, got that little step back, and he looks back at it and he says nothing but net.
Yeah, really like that from Jazz Baines.
Yeah, and Jazz Baines only with 7 points, and this is a guy that can put 30 on. And there's that same hook that I was asking about before. Oh, Greg Wild. Oh, Cartano just misses it. Goes at the rim, and if you get a chance to see that transition again, you'll see half of the Loughborough team trying to slow down Mishak, who's running. And Mishak saying to the referee, guys, like, you know, he just went underneath me and grabbed me. So you can see in transition as Cartano goes, and he uses all this traffic. And I think that was Orija, was it? He just... David Aputo, I beg your pardon. He took a terrific rebound just a couple of moments ago. Great timing. And he just got himself a good steal. He's had a great battle with Mishak Loughborough as well. Looks as though he's enjoying it.
That was an important one for the Rockets. Coach Pearson forced to take his second timeout of the second half.
Yeah.
And it's got a response. Rockets putting a bit more heat on the rim in transition.
Yeah. Oh, Greg Wild just going to shoot that one straight over the top. Foul called on Jazz Baines. Good call as well by referee Adansky. Right, that's the advantage of three officials, where they get terrific angles, just naturally good angles to see off long rebounds.
Yeah, some good minutes by Greg Wild as he checks out the game.
Yep. Aputa, just a bit strong on that one. He's only played 4 minutes so far, 5-6 minutes. He gets himself his first point. Battling hard.
Yeah, looks like this could be the last possession of the third quarter here.
Yeah. Rockets lead by 7. Can they extend that? Lewis Champion likes a look at this one. He's going to go. Finds Pinnock. 10 seconds. Great find. No, nothing.
That's an awesome pass inside by Pinnock.
Yeah, and Cartano and pulls up for 3. Kano Goods has had a really positive time as he's come in, and he's played 16 minutes, 4 points, but very active. Got himself lots of activity going on, and I think for anyone watching this game, you can read so much into this game more than just that points column. Pinnock at the moment with 5, Goods with 4, but both of them doing an absolutely terrific job for their team. As Rockets and 151 of you, as you see shots of yourself and myself, Mr. Fisher, with the Nando's. Oh, unfortunately, they've cut away and gone to a replay of the basketball game. Craziness.
Much better idea.
And there's the opening basket of the third, I think that was. And you can hear in the background the screaming is for people to have sweets thrown at them. So that is something that's a new thing and going down really well. Todd Lindley was doing that last week, and he's got every single person under the age of about 20 shouting for it.
So I would suggest that the Riders are probably the happier of the two teams after that third quarter. I think they've chipped away.
Yep.
They've kind of kept their scoring going, 22, 19 and 21 in the third quarter.
Yep.
Which is really good.
Yeah, and I'm going to ask you, Coach, to have a look on the board as well. And if you're in the next moment, we're going to have a little look and see what the Rockets are doing for their offense and what sorts of things they do. We've talked about the ball going inside as well, and just different ways that they've found that with this different lineups that they've got.
Yeah, I mean, generally, Rockets' offense does centre around the pick and roll. A little bit of continuity.
Yeah. We'll keep an eye on that.
Yeah.
We're just going to start the fourth, and we're going to come back to you on that board at the next timeout.
Yeah, awesome.
So remind me, we'll look up Rockets' offense as they have lost that last quarter by 2. Pinnock just straight off the bat, right-hand layup, and Loughborough in, and Dooku, champion. This has been a great matchup for these two. And Dooku, and Headley goes to the left on it. Cartano, good find in transition. Pinnock. Oh dear. First thing he's done wrong the whole game. Terry Harvey says, go Rockets, go on.
Tough one, but I have to say the interior coverage was much better from the Rockets in that possession, forcing the ball back out to the perimeter. Much better closeout, and Rockets claimed possession.
Yeah, Rockets 5 for 19 from the three-point line at the moment, 26%, that's pretty low for them. And on the other side, 7 for 20. Another one goes off the knee. 7 for 21 for Loughborough Riders, 33%. On the flip side, they're 13 for 15 from the free throw line. And Rockets 12 for 16. So both teams shooting reasonably well from the free throw line. Abigail Brown, come on Rockets. Terry Harvey need a bit of home sport of the mead, and we can hear it through our headphones really well. As Rockets with going into the last 10 seconds of the offense. Jazz looks down that one, doesn't get it, but Mishak is underneath it with the entire Loughborough team. And Cartano goes back at it. Baines, I thought he was on transition the other way then. 9 seconds again with the reset to 14. And he goes inside and misses the easiest shot he's going to get. And
yeah, tough one there. It probably was a foul down here, but a touch foul. Chaz Baines pretty upset he didn't get a call down there. Rockets playing with a lot of middle pick and roll at the moment, trying to generate their offense through that way.
And there's the difference, isn't it? Rockets had a chance to go up 13. They missed the layup. Loughborough come down, have a chance to get this to 10. Jazz is in front of us as the drummers drum loud. And they can't put off Loughborough and Muka as he goes on to acquire 8. Champion in the air. Oh, how did that come out? And here comes Loughborough in transition. Just dumped down. And it's a wide open one. Rockets get away with that one, and they're at sea at the moment. People are wide open. Offensive foul by 21.
I don't think Coach Pearson will be too worried. He's had we've had a couple of good looks.
Here it is
at the rim as we watch a replay of the
and
Chaz Baines
and Dooku.
Probably one of the easiest charges I think he'll take.
Yeah, I think Jazz, Lewis Champion and Pinnock are really doing a heck of a job in this league, putting their bodies on the line. 10-point game. Jazz is trying to get himself scoring, goes to that little lefty runner, and again we see situations.
Yeah, backcourt there. The tip from, well, I think it was Loughborough. Cartano couldn't quite contain, so the Riders will regain possession.
Yeah, and we talked earlier on about supporters and sponsors and things like that. We're going to come back to that. But we'll definitely need the kit washed, and we use a company called The Wash Box here in Reading. And we want to say thank you to them. Belak, who has, I'm just going to say, has been quiet, and then goes and flips an almost impossible one up. And Cartano's going at 300 mile an hour to Pinnock, who's at 150 mile an hour and laid it in.
I have to say, that is where Tyler Cartano is really, really good for the Rockets, playing downhill, and what a pass to find the layup inside.
Yeah. Oh, spiked off the backboard. Oh, great pass, and Cartano with the dunk at the end of the break. And Coach Pearson's on the floor slapping fives with Lewis Champion, and goes on the court. As we see a terrific replay of another pinpoint pass by Pinnock. And there is Cartano with the little two-hand flush. And that gives Rockets a 14-point lead with 7 minutes to go. So Terry Harvey, you said go Rockets. Go, they certainly did. Two great defensive possessions, good bit of pace. Came out with some real fantastic transition, and Coach Fisher called that one. So let's have a look if we can get a moment now, Coach, on the whiteboard, as we've got a couple of shots there. If we can see the whiteboard where we're talking about what Rockets are trying to do in half court. So let's see if we can get that one up.
Yeah, so the Rockets just at the moment playing some basic pick and roll continuity, working with two bigs. So playing through here, simply rolling to the basket. The opposite big is just lifting to the elbow extended. If they not able to turn the corner, they're making this pass here, making this guy cut through, opposite side lifting, and they're just trying to recycle the ball as much as possible, looking for the high-low, etc., etc. So nice from the Rockets at the moment, but transition seems to have been a prominent feature for them.
Yeah, and I think great to see what they're in the half court, and I think Pearson's family joining us saying go Rockets as well. You're absolutely right. And Bassey's come back into the game as well. That's the only change for Rockets. But yeah, absolutely great stuff off the whiteboard, Coach, to see that one. Corner three is another one, and that looks like a really good looking shot by CJ Hayden. And in fact, I remember he made his first three of the game last time he was here. Slices the lead to 11. Here's that activity you were talking about, Coach, and ends up with Bassey, and that's a terrific offense right off the whiteboard from Coach Fisher into the Mead.
But what was awesome about that is the ball went inside to Loughborough. He found the perimeter on the weak side. That was a great pass, and that's a great feature of his game.
Yeah, and I think, in fairness, Pinnock just put his hand up and said, look, I don't know what else to do, but great offense by Justin Headley as he moves on to 12. Opportunity to make it 13. And Pinnock, Reese gets his fourth foul. 9 points personal for Reese. It says 7 rebounds. It should say 700. It says 2 steals. It should say 20. And Justin converts the 3-point play. And Sam T comes into the game for Mishak. Mishak goes out with 19 personal, 6 rebounds, 3 blocks. It feels like a lot more. And
he's changed a lot of shots, Mishak, hasn't he?
Absolutely. Performance coach, mentor, David Titmus. Early signs of a growing chemistry on the Rockets, yeah. And just as he says it, Tolawase spins 700 times round, steps out of bounds, and Rockets get it. I thought we were going to see Tolawase spin and dunk it, if I was honest.
Absolutely. Yep. I think he's disappointed with himself not to put that in, but some really nice flowing offense from the Rockets there. Yeah.
Oh, great cut. Oh, terrific rebound. Dixon blows the layup. Great defense by Champion. Great officiating as well. Rockets a 3-on-1. AJ wants a 3 on it. Still somehow gets it back. And Dixon says, come here. And Cartano looks at it. He wants that mid-range, and it just comes out. Lacked a bit of rhythm on that one.
Yeah, just before that, Dixon made a great cut to the rim and just missed him.
Tolawese, that's the third layup missed by the Rockets, and it's an 11-point game, and they could be out of sight, but they're not. Loughborough Riders and Justin Headley hanging around, and I'm not sure if we're going to see Mishak coming back in earlier than they would have liked to, as Tolawese gives up a corner three, and Muka competently knocks that one in. He's 2 for 4.
Yeah,
as it's an 8-point game.
The Riders really sticking around and trying to defend hard.
Yeah, and Bassi has his pocket picked. It's the second time that's happened today. One to credit to the Loughborough defence as they've closed it to 6. And another. Bassi looks to answer it with a 3, and that misses. Rockets are gone from being in great rhythm. Oh, Tolawese, he finished it.
Yeah, tough finish there from Tolawese as the Rockets came up with it. It was an important one. It was either going to be a 4-point game, but we're at 8.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, great finish, great offense there. Aputa with a really nice slide to the bucket, knocks it in.
Both teams going to be making some changes after this one.
Yep. 6-point game, and in comes Greg Wild. And Belak Greg Wild will be very tough cover. Rockets will have to be careful on that one.
Yeah, Lou File, Baines and Pinnock have come back in.
Yeah. John Nicolau, just Mook has 3 3-pointers, yeah. Looks very competent as well. Good pick up that for this Loughborough team, especially with Dixon goes to the rim, gets fouled.
Yeah, good feature of the Rockets offense there.
Yeah.
Dixon rejects the pick and roll.
Here it is. Drives with his left hand, goes off his right
can't get
foot.
it to go.
Yeah. And just misses it, so Dixon will go to the line for his first free throws, and that one comes out. Lou File has come back in. Baines has come back in. Dixon knocks that one in. Dixon, Ben Lander, great to hear. Old Gary Johnson running the mic at the Mead.
Gosh, he's brave.
Yeah, terrific. Oh, Luca nearly got that one to go. And 2 shots there.
Yeah, interesting. I think the Rockets have done a really, really good job in the last couple of possessions, really standing and making the Riders have to shoot over them. Dixon pretty unlucky there, I think, but 2 shots nevertheless.
Yeah, and I think Riders scoring, they're going to score 80 plus, maybe more, but they're going to score 80 plus, and you score 80 in any game, and you bit of defensive work, and you're going to be in it. So they are in it. 2 minutes 45 to go. Need a good 3 minutes here from Rockets to close this one out. Cartano gets a rebound. Probably the best 3-point shooting group on the floor, I think, for Loughborough, Ben.
Yeah, looks that way.
Yeah.
Big possession here, really, for both teams.
Yeah, and
Coach Pearson looks as though he's going to call his final timeout with 2.5 left, and he does.
Yep.
Always an interesting one as a coach, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a gamble, isn't it? 170 wants himself to be organised, wants his team for 2:30 to be organised, but he will not be able to advance the ball if this does get close now. Maybe that's not so much of an issue nowadays, but you always want one of those in your bag if you can have them. It's a good one for the coaches on the stream. There's 170 of you out there. Coach Pearson calls his third timeout. Interesting one for you to have a little live debate on. But yeah, going back to Coach Titmus, great to have you able to see the feed as well, and the new camera angles. I think it really does help for all the work that coaches like you are doing as well, supporting the performance coaches here at the Rockets. Great to have you back in the fold. And early signs of a growing chemistry is what you said on Rockets, and I think we all agreed with that one. So, yep. As we just see the Loughborough Riders there, getting themselves prepped for this 2.5 minutes. They would dearly like to have Harrison in there.
Yeah, Coach Maynard still has 2 timeouts remaining, but I think Coach Pearson just wanted to set his stall out for these final 2.5 minutes. I think he has a good trust of his players. Yeah. So let's see what they can deliver.
Yeah, and there's talent in every position on that spot, on the floor as well for Riders. So Rockets are going to have to do a good job to get good offense scoring. Lewis Champion's back in now. Cartagena did well to just help Pinnock get that one in. 10 seconds to go. Champion. Oh, Pinnock just flips it up and foul called. It's foul called on Meshach Loughborough, and he says to the referee, "What am I doing?"
Yeah, I might have missed something on that one. I'm not quite sure what happened there, but another miss at the rim for the Rockets. That's the stinger.
Yeah, I think Meshach's been frustrated. That's about his 3rd call. He's been given 2 offensive fouls. Yeah, and gets a block just to come back. And just like we said, if you're frustrated, take it out on areas that help your team. Good patience by the Rockets as they throw it straight out of bounds. Little bit of miscommunication. Yeah, 6-point game.
That's what we love about Meshach. You know, tough one on the offensive end, straight back.
Yeah. Hey, good thing here. Sorry, coach, cut off your Jazz Baines. Just says to say sorry, that's my fault. Loughborough goes up and challenges another one, and Loughborough throw it straight out of bounds.
Yeah, nervous times here for both teams at the end of the game. Couple of turnovers. So I think it'll be who can manage these last minute and 47 seconds the best.
I remember one of my first games under Coach Titmus throwing a ball straight to him out of bounds. It wasn't my finest turnover. And if you're going to turn it over, don't do it to your own coach. And Loughborough able to switch all those perimeter. Pinnock wants to get out of his hands, down to 7 seconds. Loughborough with the screen. Oh, good move. An offensive foul by Cartagena.
Yeah, tough one there. I have to say, I thought Jazz Baines did a fabulous job going downhill. Very patient offense from the Rockets, and I thought they got a really good shot. But yeah, another one for them. So it puts a bit of pressure on the defense.
And Belak has been quiet, but you know he won't stay quiet. And it's a 3-point game.
Yeah, similar to the previous game against the Riders. They've stuck around and made it really competitive right to the end here.
Yeah. Cartagena under 10 seconds. There's a switch. Finds. Yet again, no foul. Again, Meshach asking, please, how have I not been given any fouls?
Tough period there for the Rockets, but Will Maynard's called timeout for the Riders, so it'll give Coach Pearson a chance to just calm the troops down, get them refocused on the job in hand. Still a 3-point cushion. Big defense coming up here.
Yeah.
But yeah, really great, another great advert for NBL Division 1 basketball, that's for sure.
Yeah, just a reminder, Thames Valley Air Ambulance is our cause today and will be next weekend as well. And you can find stuff for that if you just Google Thames Valley Air Ambulance, see all the amazing stuff that they do and all the lives that are saved and changed with families across the area. So we want to say a great big thank you to all their volunteers and staff that do just such an amazing job in this area, and for families around here that have had some really tender moments and had some loved ones, had some really difficult times for them, and we just thank Thames Valley Air Ambulance for all the work they do, and anything you can do to support them, we thank you as well. And we are going into the last 59.8 seconds. It is Loughborough ball.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what happens here, whether Coach Maynard advances it for a 14-second shot clock, or he uses the backcourt. Looks like they are going to advance. So they're ready to go.
Great shot there of the crowd there. Good numbers again in at Rivermead, and good shot we had earlier on there of Loughborough just speaking to the ref and just saying, hey, you know, give us a hand. 175 of you on the stream. Norris Ernstons says, let's go Cartone. Ooh! And if you remember the last time, and Wild is wide open. Belak, he's got another one in the air, and he cashes another one to tie the game. And this game had a feeling like that. Belak has now got his tail up.
Yeah, great shot by Joe Belak. What a play right in the clutch time.
6 points in a row. Who will Rockets go to? Champion. He answers back for three with 26 seconds to go. Lewis Champion coming to play. He goes to 11 personal.
Well, what about that? I mean, a number of turnovers in a row. Belak comes out of the timeout with the shot fake, rearranged three, and then Lewis Champion out of the Rockets offense finds nothing but string with 26 seconds left to put the Rockets up three. Wow. Yeah,
and Mark Harewood said Meshach hammered on the roll and nothing called. Wow. And Terry Harvey, no, and I think he feels the same as we're feeling. There's 182 of you here, and the crowd are chanting and jumping up and down, as you can see. What a great atmosphere it is here inside the Mead. Fantastic to see so many people enjoying Rockets basketball at its finest. 26 seconds to go. They've got a 3-point lead. This Loughborough Riders team have clawed their way back into this game yet again. Rockets will look at that one and they'll want to put teams to bed earlier, but this is not a Riders team that will go away. They are shooting the lights out in this quarter. So keep an eye on Belak, keep an eye on Greg Wild. Those are the guys that made it, and I think those are the main threats going on. And of course Muka, who's 3 for 5 for 3. So Riders 11 for 26, 42% from the 3-point line. Very good numbers.
Yeah, they've got some really good perimeter threats, and that will be a difficult one for the Rockets. But let's see how they defend what the Riders throw at them.
Here we go. Pinnock and Dixon in. Both teams in team penalties. Both teams no timeouts left. And Dixon nearly got a steal on it. And keep an eye on Wild. And there goes the screen. And Baines is through it. This is a one-on-one. Greg Wild, guided by Champion. He's inside it to tie it for 3. Comes out. Who gets it? Cartano gets it. 8 seconds to go. He's going to go to the line for 2.
Great job by the Rockets. It looked like the Riders went for the wing elevator, and Jazz Baines managed to bust his way through there.
Absolutely.
Contested corner 3 was no good, and Cartano comes up with the rebound. Big play for the Rockets there.
Yeah, great spot coach as well. The elevator play where you'll see a guy try and run through the gap between 2 of his teammates, and then they'll close the gap after him. Cartano now needs to knock at least one of these in as I shut up. And he does. Now, if he makes this, there's no timeouts left. It's 8 seconds to go. Coach Pearson yelling his instructions to his troops. And Jazz Baines, tricky. Good defense by them. Cartano switched it. Yeah, Chester Morrell gets a really difficult one. Gets it off the glass. And Rockets come out of this one with another cracking game against the Loughborough Riders, who, remember, had 16 points from their stellar forward Harrison Gamble before he went out with an ankle injury. And Rockets come out of this one 88-83 with a really brilliant defence in the last two possessions. Coach Fisher, what's your thinking? What's your analysis? Lots of people joined us today and they want to hear your thoughts. What do you think?
Well, I have to say well done to both teams, because I thought that obviously it's really easy to say, you know, the Loughborough Riders came back into the game. They worked so hard, moved the ball so well, and got it to an end game and really deserved that. But, you know, credit must also go to the Rockets. It's always hard when a team has momentum against you going into the final minutes of the game. So to come out and probably play two or three really good defences to get the game sewn up, you know, credit to them. They didn't fold. They didn't crack under the pressure. They just managed to get it over the line. But a great game of basketball, I have to say. We're very privileged to see a number of really good teams come and visit here at the Mead. So yeah, well done to both teams. But it's obviously great to see a home win. Yeah, absolutely, and echoed by me. And I think the two player awards stand out for themselves. Of the player of the game would be Meshach Lufar, with his just the whole way that he played the game, not least of all his 19.6 rebounds and a huge positive index. But I think there's a number of guys that could have said impact player of the game, but Reece Pinnock has had his name all over that one for this entire game. And some thoughts on those two guys, Coach, before we finish? Yeah, really good. I think Lufar, it's tough for him. He really had to battle inside, but never got flustered, always remained composed, and that's what I really liked about him, and he really helped the team. Reece Pinnock, I think a lot of his statistics don't show up on the main screen, but he did a really good job defensively, especially with his perimeter defense. And I also want to shout out to Tyler Cartano, 15 points, 14 rebounds. Yeah, that's a fantastic effort from him. He didn't necessarily get his scoring going as he may have wanted, but 14 rebounds is a magnificent effort, and he came up, he had to sort of bobble that one right at the end there, but he came up with it and did a great job. So I think a really good team performance in the stages that mattered for the Rockets, and that's what enabled them to come away with today's win. Yeah, and as always, our MVP is the stream team and everyone that goes to work with that, and Coach Fisher just joining us again for his second game, and thank you for your insight, and the stuff on the whiteboard really helps bring some colour to the game. And thank you to everyone that joins us here, and to Ralston and his crew that do an amazing job, and the new camera angles that you're seeing as we just finishing with Dixon on that little layup. We wish Harrison Gamble a speedy recovery for Loughborough. He's a really important part of them, but Loughborough Riders can mix it with anyone in this league. And as we're sitting here watching the final shots and the replays of Justin Headley, who's doing really well for this Loughborough Riders team, and in our background we're seeing young kids bouncing the balls, and we're seeing them getting their pictures taken with their favourite players. This is a really positive day for Rockets and for all of those you around. So thank you for joining us. I've been Matt Johnson, this has been Ben Fisher, and we are the Stream team saying thank you very much. Well done to the Rockets as they come away 88-83, and we will see you shortly.